if you have spent more than 3 seconds looking at a server browser in a Counter-Strike game, chances are you have come across a fight yard map or two, even if you didn't realize it. What is a fight yard though, you may ask yourself? Well, the answer to that is both simple and complicated at the same time. A fight yard is a yard where players pick up weapons that are lying on the floor and proceed to attempt to eliminate the enemy team using said weapons. But when people think of a fight yard map, more often than not, they will mention Pool Day. However, in order to explain the full story of Pool Day, first we need to talk about a different map, one that many consider to be the first ever fight yard map, and perhaps the first map to ever use the FY prefix, Iceworld. Iceworld is a much loved fight yard map that has a cult following for its simplicity and fast-paced action. Not much is known about the true creator, and many have claimed that they are the one to have made the map over the years, although there is evidence to suggest that the map prefix of FY did not originally stand for fight yard and instead stood for fantasy, as this could have been the original mapper's name. Unfortunately for us though, this is one of those mysteries in life that we will more than likely never find an answer to. As you can probably see, the map gets its name from the fact that all of the floors and walls are extremely icy, and the map takes an idea of the 4-square map design to the next level. All that there is to do is pick up a gun and try to kill those who oppose you. For most people, the map was exactly what they were looking for, and the map quickly spread across servers and rose in popularity to become one of the most loved maps of all time. If Iceworld could be criticized for anything, it's the fact that it is a little too symmetrical in some areas, especially if you don't know the little differences in the lighting colors on the map. But thanks to that simplicity, that is where Pool Day steps in. Pool Day by Squall was first released in June 2001, and quickly solidified its place in internet cafes and the homes of many as one of the most memorable and popular custom maps ever, and I mean ever. Once again, the action is fast and frantic, and so too were the respawns, which played perfectly into the hands of those who were sick of dying at the start of a round on a normal server and then having to sit around for minutes at a time to have a second chance, especially when they were new and just trying to learn the game. Squall made Pool Day in a few hours and set the map in a fun environment he experienced growing up a lot after getting bored with how he thought that Iceworld looked. But in order to achieve this, he had to make sure that the map was split into clear zones. Each side has a blue and red tile to help the player easily recognize which side they are on. And the left and right paths are both unique, with one being a simple wall that is easily spammable, separating the two sides, and the other path has a set of lockers and a spa that you can jump into to relax a bit. The middle of the map is the most important and most interesting part of the map, the pool. Not only is the pool a big open space that is extremely risky to enter, but it's also the goal of the map. You see, Pool Day is a fight yard map, but it's also a bomb defusal map. One random T will spawn with the C4 and can plant it on the end of the diving board. The end of the diving board is also a buy zone just in case you feel like splashing your cash for some reason. It's not like you need to buy a weapon considering that there's free ones all over the ground, so it isn't really that useful. And it's only really usable if the server you're playing on isn't using a mod to disable buying in the first place. As seems to be the case with all good fight yard maps, camping spots are far and few between, with the only semi-camp spots that you can find are inside these toilet stalls, which is pretty much suicide considering that the doors on the stalls are thinner than the Olsen twins. The most important thing that I haven't mentioned yet happens to be a staple of all local pools: the rules. The most important rule, of course, is number 3 here. Don't crap in the pool. And in case you couldn't read the words, there's always this sign here that kindly demonstrates what not to do. Pool Day was so popular that it had many copycats try and make their own versions of Pool Day. Similar to how many people tried to make different rats maps, but this time, there wasn't a lot of real creativity other than a handful of new paths here and there. Some added silly vents and others added a second floor, but really they just didn't feel that special. When Counter-Strike Source released, the community was quick to come up with a new version of Pool Day, and the version that you're seeing is titled Pool Day, but it wasn't made by Squall. This version of the map was made by Skyforce. The layout is almost identical to the original Pool Day, though it does have some slight changes, like the spa area here is bigger and has some big windows that when you look out to the empty world, you can see basically nothing. If this is the version of Pool Day that you think of first, then you have been living a lie this whole time. This, on the other hand, is Pool Day Reunion, and is the official follow-up to Pool Day by Squall, released in December 2004. Pool Day Reunion is more of a reimagining rather than a remake or a port, which is good because it really suits servers with larger player counts. It also includes a little tunnel underground from one spawn to the other, just in case you wanted to flank people even faster. The spa has also been upgraded from a simple spa area to a spa inside an entire sauna room. And this leads me to one of the best features of the map, the destructible objects. These sauna doors, destroy them. These benches, each and every plank can be destroyed one by one. These glass blocks, some of them can be smashed. Pot plants, explode when you destroy them. But what about the toilet doors? Simply blow them off with a vengeance and ensure that no one dare take a crap without fear. When Counter-Strike Global Offensive released, Pool Day once again was quick to be remade, but this time it was remade by a French mapper named Le Plus Beau du Lapin. I think that roughly translates to the best rabbit, so from now on I'm just gonna call him Rabbit. And if my French sounded terrible, you can probably tell that I'm not French. As you can see though, the map is another copy of the original Pool Day by Squall, but with the typical early CSGO art style that we all know and love. The map once again included the buy zone and the bomb plant zone on the diving board, and the extremely close quarters mayhem returned as you would expect it to. The map was also planned to be included in CSGO's first ever operation, Operation Payback. However, for unknown reasons, it was cut prior to the operation's release. Rabbit has also made a version of the map with a switch hidden in the toilet stalls that allows the players to switch from the modern graphics of the map back to the old 1.6 graphics of the map. It actually works surprisingly well, although some props that change from version to version don't have any colliders, so if you do play this version of the map, don't be surprised if you just end up running through some random props like these deck chairs, for example. With the introduction of Counter-Strike 2's Workshop, Rabbit also released what is easily the best looking version of Pool Day ever. This version not only utilizes the superior lighting of the new engine, but also has a lot of inflatable pool floaties that you can shoot, and even introduces one of the greatest mechanics in Counter-Strike history: diving board physics. If I'm completely honest, the only downside to this version of the map is the fact that you can't access the full water park, because this place next door looks awesome. Maybe it will even be included in the first Counter-Strike 2 operation instead. If you ask a Counter-Strike player what their favorite number is, chances are it's $2,000, especially if they're from Russia or somewhere around there. $2,000 was created in October 2007 by Kalu for Condition Zero. And that right there is usually a death sentence for maps. But in this case, 1.6 servers started to notice the map, and it started to become one of the more popular fight yard maps among players. The map itself is a simple fight yard. You can peek on your left, you can peek on your right, or you can climb up the ramps behind you and get a good vantage point for a different angle. As always, there are plenty of weapons on the ground for you to pick up and use, and a couple of corridors in the middle of the map. It seems when it comes to fight yards, the simpler the better. But Kalu wasn't done there, because only a handful of months later, in January 2008, he released $2,000 for Counter-Strike Source. The map is basically identical to his original version, but this time, it's saucy. there really isn't much to say about this version of the map, other than the fact that I'm extremely thankful that it isn't filled with physics props like every other Source mapper ever. He kept it simple, and it works. In August 2008, he followed up his $2,000 map with yet another Condition Zero map, $3,000. This new map added a bridge through the middle of the map, as well as paths along the top edges of the map. The map definitely suits the larger player counts that the community servers love to run these days. Realistically, it's perfect for even more mayhem to take place with the added sightlines from these new paths, but just like Pool Day and the Rats maps, there were also countless copies that people have made over the years. When it comes to $2,000 maps, some people make small tweaks here and there, but usually they just like to retexture the map, even if the retextures don't really make sense when you think about it. Like $2,000 Lego by Reminisce. It's crazy how many people have made different versions of the map over the years, and I'm sure there's many more coming out for Counter-Strike 2. Thank you very much for watching. I want to take a quick second to thank every single person who leaves a comment, likes the video, and subscribes. I really do appreciate all of you, and it helps me get closer to achieving my dream of one day potentially being able to make even more content for you guys full time. I want to also take the chance to give a special thanks to Hazard Gaming, who is my first and only channel member. Channel memberships and super thanks are possibly the biggest way to support me, but never do those things for me or any other creator unless you really want to and have the means to do so. Also, if you have any suggestions for awesome video ideas, please feel free to drop them in the comments as well anytime. It doesn't have to be map related, it could be weapon related, or even mods that you think I should just check out and have fun playing. Once again, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, take care.